And today, for the last time, the Judicial Service Commission convened yet again to hear from potential candidates for the position of the Chief Justice. And it was Paul Udoto's turn to face the panel, and he did. However, it could not proceed. Let's find out from Paul why the Judicial Service Commission did not proceed with that interview, or did he chicken out? Thank you very much, Paul, for speaking to NTV.
Asante.
One question, and that was it for you. What happened? Did you chicken out? Did you decide not to proceed? What informed your decision today?
It's about the Constitution, because every job we have qualifications, and a constitutional office, its qualifications are stated in the Constitution. So if the Constitution is interpreted in such a manner that you are not considered competent for that job, then definitely you need not to fight, because it will appear like you are now opposing the Constitution.
But Paul, you knew when you applied, there are some minimum set standards, right?
Yes.
For that position, for the position of a Chief Justice.
Yes.
The minimum one that brings to my mind right now is the fact that you must possess a qualification similar to a judge of a superior court, which means it's 10 years. Yet you didn't have that, but still pressed ahead and applied for this job. What was in your mind?
The Constitution gives different sets of experiences, different sets of qualifications. One, somebody must have a law degree, which I have. Secondly, he must have been an advocate of the High Court of Kenya for about 15 years, which I don't have. Thirdly, you must have been like a superior court judge for a period of 10 years, which I don't have. Fourth, you must be an extinguished academic, like for example, you are a lecturer or a writer, which I have not done. But there is another option which says that he must have the relevant experience in the relevant fields of law. So where now the issue comes in, what do you mean by saying experience? Now that's when the issue stepped. When you go and study law, or in the legal parameters, the word experience has two different meanings. One, it includes the number of years or the time you have spent at school. And then the second one is what we call job experience. That's the experience you earn immediately you begin employed. You get employed.
Which you didn't have for this purpose.
Now, that's the second limb of the interpretation of the word experience, which now the JSC based on. And that when they based on that, I discovered now, if this is the interpretation of the Constitution, because now at that time you see the JHC was the judge, I was the applicant. If the judge has said now we are going with this proceeding, with this interpretation, definitely you don't need to fight the judge.
Did you, in your mind, believe at any one point that you had a chance against the veterans who had applied for this job? Dr. Smokin Wanjala, the judges of the superior courts, Makamutua, all these people who had applied. Did you at any one point in your mind believe that you had a chance, you stood a chance to be the Chief Justice of this country?
That's why I applied.
You believed in your mind you had
That's why I applied. If I have had not that in my mind, I could have never in fact read that caption on the papers. I could have never gone to the internet to browse to check out what these guys are looking for. Because those guys have stated that they were looking for an experience of post-graduating, or the experience, the hands-on-the-job experience. I could have not applied. But once they leave it open, I am a lawyer, I'm a trained lawyer. I know what the law is. I can tackle anything in any area of the law. I can do legal research. Where there is a problem, I'll do legal research. Right now, information is at the press of the button.
Okay. The other thing that we know about the bar and the bench, let me talk about the bar specifically, is there is that level of respect. Being a Chief Justice, you are the head of the bench. Being an Attorney General, you're the head of the bar in the country. You're the top lawyer. But there is that respect due to experience, you know, seniority, for example, in this profession. Looking at you, I haven't asked you your age, but I bet you are the youngest in that panel. How will the superiors, for example, now that you're sure, let's say hypothetically you got the job, how would you deal with the superiors of the Supreme Court? Look at the judges, look at the lawyers in court who have more experience than you. How would you have dealt with them?
One thing we must understand, that respect is not the law. That respect is a tradition. It is a tradition within the legal sector. And when a tradition is there, there is a manner in which we can handle the tradition and the manner with which we can proceed with the work. If the tradition is the law, definitely could have been a problem. But right now you see, working in any institution, it's about teamwork. So for us to form a good teamwork, we need to have that, we need to remove this thing they say, I'm so and so, I come from here and here. I was born this year.
Have the right connections.
Yeah, you see. So we work as a team. When we are seated here, I see you as a brother, and you see me as a brother. That's the end of the story. You see me as a colleague, I see you as a colleague. That's the end of the story.
Okay.
And that respect will also come because I will not again break the tradition. I'll respect them. I'll console them where necessary. I would have asked them any question. I could have taken them as the way I could have taken my father. When I'm richer than my father, it doesn't mean now I become the father of the home. So that's now how I could have gone up. Consultations and that aspect of corporate working.
Okay. Voluntarily, you stepped down and you're now out of that. Yes. Do you feel you have done justice to a lot of those young people who had hopes, who are thinking if he can apply for this, then we have an opportunity as young people to apply for this? Don't you think you're now locking them out and they're getting scared and intimidated by the presence of such people we saw on that panel because you're chickening out?
The first thing is that I did not chicken out. I was eliminated by the provisions of the law because I stepped out because of the obedience to the law.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the other thing as we conclude this. You are a trained lawyer. I am a trained lawyer by qualification, and yet I have branched out. Now, most interesting, which didn't come out, you are a carpenter.
Yes.
You don't really practice law. You know, you are a carpenter. And even with that humble background, even Jesus' father was a carpenter, you still sought to be the Chief Justice. Tell us about what else you do.
I began doing carpentry before I became a lawyer.
Okay.
I began training carpentry in Form 1 at Bungoma High School. We had a very good teacher called Mr. Mtoro. And that guy trained us to be carpenters. It's not just being a carpenter. He also trained us to take care of the environment. When I went at home after his teachings, I planted so many trees. When you go in our home, it's just a forest.
Okay.
I trained my friends on doing the same. So carpentry was actually it's something I learned before I came to learn the law.
So as I let you go, what's your next course of action? What's your plan now that this is done for you? Probably your last application of the year. What is there for you?
Tomorrow I'll be going to class.
Okay.
And then from there, I'll think of also seeing how we can go about to amend the constitution, because one word, my brother, costed me. One
experience
word. No, 15
years.
15, not years.
Not years, just 15.
Yeah, one word.
Okay.
If we can only remove that 15 and
make
replace it with reasonable, I could be in.
Okay. It could be in. Thank you very much, Paul Udoto, for speaking to us.
Karibu sana.